I let it all out, not in. That's a day where I'm not reacting to work. I'm not participating in work. You need to rest. I also get seasons of rest. Um, so, like, I'm currently in a season of rest. God took a lot away from me. Then I'm slowly coming out of it and I'm getting to like start doing things again. But even with this new season of starting to do things again, I'm still being reminded that my rest is not just a weekly thing, it's also during the days that I am working. He's trying to teach me that I should never push myself anymore. So I have this concept or this understanding from what I've gathered from the things that God has been teaching me is that um, your body has so much life force and you can overexert your life force. And so a good example is that is when people drop dead from exertion, when people drop dead from continuous forceful push on their day to day or their week to week, to their month to month, or years of continuous pushing. Your body has a limit. Um, you can push all you want. You're just shortening your life. Nobody ever tells you that. Nobody ever explains that. But I had to learn that the hard way. And when I learned it, God was like, well, you keep saying you want to live a long time, but if you keep pushing like this, you can't. You just can't. And so he had to show me what would be required of me to live a longer life. And some things will take longer to do. Why? A random call. Who's calling? Oh, I'm going to pause for her. Hold on. I'm going to hit pause here. Hold on. Hit pause here. Hit pause here. Okay, so we're back to recording. Sorry, I had to take a break to talk to my cousin. Something happened this morning, and she actually was on the phone with me while what was happening, and so she followed back and doubled back to get the scoop on how that went. So, breaks. I get seasons of breaks. So I'm in a season of break, and the season of break was I worked a whole lot less than I've ever worked in my entire life. I didn't even understand it. I had a season of break before, but it was way shorter than this. And it also, I was getting like unemployment. So that's why I considered it a season of rest. I think God took me out of the workforce forcefully, not willingly. And that was my first time leaving the workforce. And that was my first time coming to understand that you can work for yourself and actually earn money. And there are so many things to do, and you can decide what you want to do and how you want to do it. And you can set your own schedule, and you can be your own boss and be your own timekeeper and everything. And it was kind of overwhelming. It was very overwhelming. I mean, I lie about it. It took a lot. I learned a lot from it. I also learned that there were variations where I could kind of work for someone and still work for myself and like figure out in between. But it was my first taste of it. It was a good taste. I got that bite of that burger and I was just like, yo, I want this. But then I had to go back to the workforce. Um, I did several years after that in the workforce again, before getting the rude awakening where it was clear that me and the workforce would have to part ways. But then again, now I'm coming to a season where I may have to join the workforce for a little bit, doing some part-time stuff. I don't know how this is going to go. I'm willing to do it, whatever it takes to get where I'm going. That's always been my motto. I'm a hustler. Yeah. Okay, I'm not singing the song. I know you wanted to join me on it, but we're not going to go there. No rights reserved here. So I also am required to take breaks that are sometimes like a month long. So sometimes there are like periods of time where I need to shut down from the world. I don't do total shutdowns. So like when people totally like get rid of their social media and all that, I don't do that. And here's why. I do not have a toxic social media. That is because I do not open the door to a toxic social media. I have had toxic friends. I've had toxic relationships. I've had stalkers. I've had all of that. But I don't let my social media become that. And there were two relationships where it got so bad that I had to report them to the social media network that I was on. And I remember one of them reporting me back, and I was like, "How dare you? The audacity!" But then I exposed the comments, the conversations, and sent it to that media, and they took care of that shit real quick. Um, that was the fastest I've ever seen. And so I do know that social media can shut down what you need shut down when you need it shut down. But then again, a lot of laws have passed between my first getting social media and that. And I've kind of always had rules for myself. I believe that social media is an extension of your etiquette. Your self etiquette continues even in that form. A lot of you don't. And that's why you get what you're getting. If you don't put boundaries and you don't set up rules and regulations for yourself and others, then you'll get crap. And I let people know when they send me messages if they're not in line or board or they're not correct. I let them know it's good. One time I found some supposed Christian network, which was, I don't consider that Christian, whatever that was. Oh, I had to shut that down real quick. Um, I had to reset my WhatsApp over it. It was a mess. I lost so much data. Oh, I cried. But yeah, so seasons of rest, periods of rest. So when I shut down in those periods, I'm like mitigating what I let myself in, what I allow in. I'm closing the door to things that need to be closed the door to in that season. I'm spending more time just smelling the air and hearing birds chirp and looking at flowers and taking pictures of flowers and aimlessly wandering through stores that give me joy. One of them used to be Joanne Fabrics. I'll cry about that later. Another is Hobby Lobby, Home Depot, Menards. So I'm not really a Lowe's fan. I don't know. The feel and vibe in Lowe's was always chaotic when I entered in. I don't know. It just doesn't, I get a weird sensory feeling when I'm in those stores. So those aren't my places of vibe. Mood Fabric Store out in New York. God, I miss you people. That was like heaven on earth for me for a minute. Textile outlet out in Chicago. It's like a whole block. Textile outlet has been since childhood. Not childhood, since college. I discovered them in college, and that place is like home. And the employees know me, and they understand me, and we good. Um, Places like that are how I take a break sometimes. Sometimes it's just a moment break. Sometimes it's like seasonals. And then I spend a lot of time in stores like that where I just sit for hours and I find something and I twiddle with it. Hobby Lobby is really good for that. So is the textile outlet. And what I mean by twiddle with it is like maybe it's an aisle and I go item by item or whatever catches my attention and I just immerse myself in it and have ideas and play with it and just look at it and just see what they have available. Hobby Lobby's Christmas catalog is a moment, and I can't go in and have that moment unless I have time for it because it's so mind boggling for me, and I try not to take a wallet in when I go in. But somehow something comes out, even when I'm broke. I don't know how, but it happens. But yeah, so those are that. And in some seasons they will require full unplugs. Oh, full unplugs. So a full unplug for me is when I do completely media and everything. That's a different level of unplug. That means I'm going to be in like a natural setting. Um, it could be a hotel. It could be out in the middle of nowhere. Um, I've done those in the city. Which is so what that looks like when I do that, like in Chicago, is we book a hotel, either me and cousins or just me and my kids, or just me. And I walk around downtown like an aimless bum who has nothing to do. And my job is anything that catches my attention, I'm gonna let it. And I'm have a good time with it. It could be a person. It could be a store. It could be a museum. It could be architecture or a series of things. And I go down that path. I'm not answering calls. Everything is on focus mode. My phone gets it. It knows what's good. If you're not my kid or someone who's in my most inner circle, I ain't answering your call. Um, we will not talk about my inner circle because I don't get to make that public yet. Um, and you know you're not in that circle if your call goes to silent mode. Don't get mad about it. Don't talk to me about it. It is what it is. Okay. So we're gonna go to the next slide because I'm running out of time because I spent too much time learning everything to start. Phone space. Oh my gosh. So the reason why I'm recording on the laptop is because my phone says it's low disk space. And I've come to learn that they're lying to us about that stuff. What they're not telling you is that every app on your phone is using disk space. It's using disk space not as an app and not as an app you downloaded. So if you delete it, you didn't lose the disk space that you used. It's still being used. You got to delete the disk space it used. But you can't just do that anyhow. And you can't just go in and start deleting willy-nilly because some of that data is how they keyed you as a person. Some of that data is how they understand you better. Some of that data is how your ads are now being generated differently. Some of that data is how Apple or whatever software your use of phone is or your computer or whatever it is that is generating the data from the app. They've learned things about you from that. And that's taking up space in your phone. It's taking up space in sometimes the information is how you use that thing. And so how that thing interacts with you, it keeps data to know how to interact with you. So not to piss you off and how to operate the way you need it to operate. And some of it is actual data usage. So like, let me give you a good example. So my video recording thing for for my YouTube, that app that I was using, it's Video Shop, I think it's what it's called. It records, but it also keeps data on how I'm recording, right? And it's also keeping the recording data itself, right? So even though I delete the video, it keeps certain cache information about how I recorded. And so it's full. And my disk space in my phone is full because I use a ton of apps. I'm an app whore. I have a crazy collection of apps and I use a majority of them. Some of them are used daily. Most of my Google stuff is used daily. Some of my other stuff is used occasionally. Some things I can't get rid of because I'm gonna need them when I need them, and I'm not gonna have time to do a whole search and download. I'm just gonna have time to bring it back onto the phone. So Apple takes off anything on my phone that there isn't room for and I'm not actively using. So things like my Delta app, my Southwest app. Yeah, I used to travel a lot. Used to hop planes locally. See family, doing random shit, going to New York to see Mood. Used to take a lot of trips to New York. New York used to be my place of peace. Manhattan, me walking around Manhattan used to give me a level of peace that it's really funny that Manhattan should give somebody like me peace, but it used to give me peace. It also used to rev me up right before I needed to do something overly creative. Manhattan was great for that. I'd book a hotel in Manhattan and just walk around town. Usually while my son was away at Christmas or my parents had taken him somewhere, and I'd just hop and disappear and no one would know about these trips. Now they do. But yeah, I used to do things like that. One time it was Philly, but that also had ulterior motives. Again, I used to travel a bit. So deleting them, the conversations and the ease of use, and also the things it affects. So I know cleaning apps know how to clean that cache without taking away the wrong stuff. But my thing is that cleaning app is very intrusive. It's getting to see a lot. And I do not know that the people who own those cleaning apps are not using that data for other things. I can't believe they're not. And I have to believe they're making a ton of money from that. And that's why they're making cleaning apps. If you're smart enough, the level of data you can get from each person who's on your app is a lot of information and will make you a lot of money. And even if you're not selling it, you can create products that are more intuitive to people and that are more appropriate for people from just that data alone. And if you weren't already doing that, don't learn that from what I just said. Google fixed my brain. I know it. But yeah. So yeah. So, and yes, I do subscribe to some levels of conspiracy theory. I live in that lane. Leave me alone. It's fun. But I do know the balance, right? There's a level of where you think is reality and what is actual reality, right? And what is actually being done and what is being done, but in a minute setting and only for certain situations, right? Whereas it's being, and then there's some things that are being done corporately and that we do know about, like, and like the fact that our phones and every device records you. We know that. If you didn't know, it does. Are you going to stop it? No, you can't. It was built to not be stopped for many reasons. Don't even worry about it. These aren't things to lose sleep over or get rid of all your devices for. It's not. Just know that that's the society we're moving into. So live within it, be appropriate with it. Next up, um, phone storage. Makers of phones refusing to accommodate more than basic filming and everyday phone usage. Yeah. So you can either use your phone as a phone or you can use your phone for recording. If you try and use it for both, you're going to run into issues. The storage on these phones are made for that. I went to Apple once and I told them, hey, I need a 1 terabyte phone. And they looked at me, and everybody always looks at me crazy when I ask for those things. And I've been asking for those things for more than 10 years now. And they try and act like I'm awkward or I'm outside of the norm. But the reason why I want 1 terabyte is so that I can continue to take pictures every day if I want to. I've had to learn not to. I've had to learn when I can take photos and how many photos in each situation I can take because I want to use my phone for more. I want to do everything my phone has the capability of, and I want to stretch it beyond that. I paid for that damn thing. My mother used to say, for the price you're paying for these gadgets, they better be worth it. And so I want my every penny out of every gadget I own, and I want to use its capacity. Give me the damn storage for it. Just saying. But I also understand that we're in a society where digital storage cannot handle what people like me are producing. Because here I am now. I'm producing YouTube channels. I'm producing audio files for a podcast. And I'm probably going to shoot other stuff for my business and for my personal life and for other things. And it's going to need to go somewhere. I know I need to create my own server. Don't tell me I already knew this years ago. And I first was going to attempt it. And then my techie son talked me out of that shit because he didn't understand what his mother was trying to do. He's soon starting to understand that, and he'll comply soon, God willing. I sent that boy to the best tech school to make sure that he could do the things I'm going to need him to help me do in the future. So don't worry about that. It's going to get done. Also met a guy who makes AI stuff. That's going to get done. AI's going to tell me how to build and what to build and how to set it all up. Either way, we're going down that path someday. Not yet. Right now, I'm going to live within my box and live within my means and make do with what I got. Making the phone so full in the disk space that transferring videos elsewhere becomes a nightmare. So that was the other reason why I had to shoot here. So even though I had deleted apps and different things to make the storage disk space, despite the cached space, right? It got to a point where even if I recorded it, even if I made enough space to record it, then I would now need space to upload it from the device. I don't have enough space. I'm at like the capacity of my phone. It's an iPhone 15 Plus, and I think it's, what are we at? Hold on, let's find out. We're going to go to settings. Yeah. I have where's that button? Oh, there it is. I have a button that takes me to stuff. Control panels. Yeah. I never use the button because it almost is cumbersome because it is. Yeah, see? I've gotten here, and then now I'm stumped where to go next. Um, yeah, button was not useful. Let's just find settings. Um, gosh, I hate me. Sometimes some things are easier for me to get to, and then sometimes it's a whole brainwave moment, and that's what the problem is. Um, so in my settings, I go into, let me just search storage. Sorry, I can't share this even though Apple has a mirroring thing, but the mirroring thing doesn't allow you to share in certain things. And I would have to go to my settings, figure out how to share. Not, I know how, but then it would take me too long to share that and share this page. Too much work. We're going to get there though. I'm going to get to a comfortable zone where I can share as my brain is thinking. Um, iCloud storage. No, 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 just regular storage. We want the phone storage. iCloud storage, I'm fine. I pay for like 2 terabytes on that bad boy. But as Apple explained to me, it doesn't matter how much I pay for iCloud storage. My phone, the actual device, needs to have storage of its own. Okay, so here we go. Are you ready? This is what my phone storage looks like. Sorry, I still have to stay near this mic, but then I have to. Okay, so we're gonna figure out how to get to the. Yeah, sorry, I'm not there yet, but I'm working on it. Oh, it's like doubling over. Okay, so let me come from an angle where the light doesn't double over the reflection without also showing my daughter. Oh, no, 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 we've left it. Hold on. So, what I'm trying to show, oh, there we go. Oh, that's pretty decent. So, you see, I have no, like, look how much apps I use. My photos, after learning how to control my photo usage and how to take pictures of instrumental moments, but not too much, has gotten way better. So, yeah, that's why I can never use the phone for anything. I thought of buying a new phone, but then I was like, you're going to buy a new phone every time there's a problem? No. And I watched enough people who are figuring it out with the phone they had. And I'm in that season. I'm not yet ready for the new phone. I'm going to figure, I know how many minutes I have. Thank you. Thank you, police, minute police. Um, my daughter is telling me how much time I have left to record. So let me get on to the last couple of slides. Anxiety. Yes, somebody commented about anxiety, and I had mentioned that I got rid of my anxiety during COVID. What I was really saying was during COVID, at the beginning of COVID, I experienced a high level of anxiety, just like everybody else and their mama. And what had happened was I was like, I'm not going to be hostage to anxiety. Anxiety will not control me. I learned in childhood the danger of anxiety. And I learned self control in childhood because my father said, without self control, you are nothing. And so I taught myself a lot of self control, was overly self controlled. And I had to learn to let go of some of that. God had to teach me that sometimes too much control doesn't allow room to learn and room to grow. But you do need self control. You can't do a life with God or a life, period, without self control. And a lot of people really dismiss the importance of self control. So, yeah. So, at the first start of COVID, the anxiety hit really bad. I joined my church's at the time's prayer group, which was on Zoom. And I would do like 3 sessions a day of the sessions they offered because I was like, I need to get a hold of this. And finally, I just confessed during one of those sessions that I was really experiencing high levels of anxiety. And some people gave some advice. One of the people on there was actually a doctor. And so she knew and understood. And she'd spent time with me before COVID. And so she kind of like knew some of my temperaments and she'd spend a lot of time with me on these prayer lines. So she kind of knew like where my mindset and some of where I was at. So her advice was really good. And it was really just about what to focus on and how to focus and how to do things to de-escalate the buildup of anxiety. And so I learned to train to do things to build up to deal with that. Another thing that had also happened was before COVID, I had gone to therapy for my to prep for my divorce. Um, and so I had dealt with a lot of things that were the stressors before that. And so I'd already learned clinically how to also work on things. I also was an MHP, a mental health practitioner. I also did a lot of therapy at work for the kids that I worked with. So I put some of that to use on myself. And I did quiet times. I shut down. I closed all the lights in the room. I did times where I was silent and by myself. I took naps. I instituted down times. And some of that stayed with me and still is with me. And so that silent season and that quiet season, some of that is me still reenacting that. Um, I'm looking for a new therapist, working on all that, trying to fit that into all of this and everything. But a lot of the shutdowns, a lot of the quiet times, a lot of the finding my creativity and doing things that I love and things that are for me and about me, and giving my children boundaries with me, and remembering to take care of myself. Though I know I don't fully look like I am taking care of myself right now. Uh, work in progress, work in progress. Not everything can always be hit at all times. And being able to be willing to give yourself permission to be okay with that was another thing. I'm a perfectionist. Learning to not always be about the perfect, but about the doing was huge for me. Being able to forgive myself for what I can't do and what I can do, and what I'm able to do and what I'm not able to do, big thing. I've hit my 12 o'clock mark, so I'm going to do my last one. Oh, yes. My last slide is very big. I do subscribe to you finding a professional. Do not attempt to do things by yourself. This is, again, I keep saying it. You're not meant to do things by yourself. Don't do shit by yourself. Find someone to help you. If the people who have helped you in the past have abused you, if you subscribe to Jesus, let the Holy Spirit and God lead you to the right people. Read your Bible. Your Bible does help with anxiety. It does. The devil does do things to actively push anxiety. You have to learn to say no. You have to learn to say no to a lot of things. It's necessary. Whether you subscribe to Jesus or not, you got to learn no. No is a real thing. It's a real thing. Do it. Don't let people bully you out of no's. You got to be bold. You got to be courageous. Even if it's a soft, don't touch me. Even if you had to whisper it, please do it. Seek help. I also have polycystic ovary syndrome. The shutdown during COVID forced me to stop overdoing things. I was going to 2 beauty schools at once. I was going to a natural styling beauty school. I was also finishing my education at Paul Mitchell at the time as well too. And I was driving Uber and Lyft, both. And I was working as a courier. And I had a full social life. And my children had their own full social life, which I took them to and from. They also had parties and events and everything. And I took care of all of that and paid all the bills for all of that. And it was a lot. And COVID made me shut down from all of that. Before COVID, I'd actually moved in with my sister. I lost my apartment because the stress of paying for all of that was getting to be too much. And my landlord wasn't cool with me paying it instrumentally, wasn't okay with a lot of things. And he was also a stress to his credit. And so when he evicted me, I took it and I left, and I didn't even really fight him, though I could have. I was just so distraught that somebody wanted to kick me out of a place and didn't want to talk to me, even though I was able to talk and I could advocate for myself, and he didn't want that. And in all fairness, I was also doing some things in that apartment that I cannot speak about because I got tiny ears in here. But we'll talk about that on another day when I can speak about it. And so I know he was jealous and was upset about my enjoyment and his lack of enjoyment, which my enjoyment sometimes sparked his enjoyment. But whatever. I'm going to be a bigger person here and be well behaved. Remember, borders, boundaries, and self-respect, as well as, manners, right? Manners make it man. So yeah, COVID fixed. Oh yeah, my doctors did admit that COVID fixed my anxiety issues because my PCOS was way better managed after COVID than it was before COVID, where my doctor had threatened to medicate me if I couldn't control it myself. And I agreed that if I couldn't control it, that they had the right to medicate me. But I've been able to control it, and they do not need to medicate me for my polycystic ovary syndrome because I'm able to control myself. Wow. So it is now, time is up, and I'm going to stop all my recordings. And yeah, it's been a pleasure. Day 1 of recording in a studio and day 6 of recording my YouTube. Welcome to my channel, and Godspeed and live well. Yeah. Oh, I'm at the end of my 30 minutes. Oh, I was at the end here. Okay, but I need to stop recording here.